Okay, what's up everybody? Navar here from Strength and Motion Academy. So today I'm going to go over the seminar on nutrition. So today we're going to discuss the importance of your calories and macronutrients. So in a future video after this one, I'm going to do one on MyFitnessPal and how to actually track your calories and macronutrients. But today what we're going to do is I'm going to explain the importance of your macronutrients, the importance of each macronutrient themselves, so the protein, carbs and fat. Then I'm also going to explain the importance of calories and the importance of tracking them depending on your goal and your performance goals as well. So these are very important. Over my years of doing this and doing a lot of nutrition plans for a lot of people as well, I've experimented a lot with different methods of tracking your calories and macronutrients. Easier ways are like portion control as well and things like that. But over the years, I found out the best way is to actually use an app like MyFitnessPal and actually track your calories and macronutrients. I know a lot of people are a little bit scared to do so. They think it takes too much time. Once you get really good at it, it'll take a total of about 5 minutes per day, about 1 minute per meal to actually track your calories and macronutrients on MyFitnessPal. And if you truly want results, this is the best way to do it. From all my experience, from everyone I worked with, the best way to get results is actually track your calories and macronutrients. So first I'm going to dive into the importance of the macronutrients. First one I'm going to dive into is protein. So the reason why I dive into protein first, as we know, especially like within the bodybuilding industry and people that want to focus on body composition, protein is extremely important for body composition, for protein synthesis and the repair and growth of muscle tissue. And so the goal within the gym is for you to become catabolic and put stress on your body to break down the muscle, and then after that move into like your rest and digest state, into a rested state for you to recover your muscles and for them to regrow and rebuild and come back stronger and better than before. Protein helps with that, which is why protein is the first macronutrient we're going to dive into. Not only that, is it's also important for your hormones, it's important for your enzymes, the structure of your body as well, so your bones, teeth, skin, muscle, hair and nails. It's also important for your antibodies, fluid as well, and also for energy. So protein is eventually broken down to amino acids to then create glucose. That's if we're in a low carb or starvation state, which we don't want to move into anyway, but protein is extremely important for the recovery of muscles, for your body composition. So focus on that. Second one we're going to dive into is fats. And I find with most of the clients, most of the people we work with, is fats is the one that's generally under-eaten. The reason why is I think it's because of our previous belief on fats being bad for you, fat actually helping you gain more weight and not being beneficial. But fats are extremely important for your hormones. It's extremely important for your fat soluble nutrients such as your vitamins and your phytochemicals. It's important for your energy as well. So as we know, like if you use your first energy source being like creatine and then your carb source, it moves into using your fat tissue for energy. It also helps with sleep, your low energy intake and physical activity. You get essential fatty acids as well, which is important for your cell membranes. It also affects your inflammation, blood clotting, blood vessel dilation and more. Also, it's very good for keeping you fuller for longer. So I generally put fats in between meals as well, just to keep people fuller for longer, so that when their lunch comes along and their dinner comes along, they're not in this like starvation state where they want to go out and eat a lot of carbs or a lot of glucose to get energy as well. So fats are really important to use for that point as well, for keeping you fuller for longer. But remember guys, don't stint out on your fats. You want to make sure you get your fats for your hormones and for your energy as well. And then you can look at your fat sources, stuff like avocados, olives, your seeds. You can also look at olive oil, your oily fish as well, and nuts are probably one of my favorites I like to give to clients because they're quite easy to snack on throughout the day. Next one, carbs. Just like your fats, these are probably looked at as like being one of your worst macronutrients as well. People believe that carbs create or make you fat. I think it's because we eat a lot of processed sugar. If we're looking at your whole food carbs, things that have high fiber, they might be higher in GI, but the thing with fiber is it slows down the digestion of it anyway, so I wouldn't focus too much on that. So carbs are actually your preferred energy source for the brain, nervous system, and your red blood cells. They also spare protein by stopping glycogen depletion. So if you're actually high in starvation by eating low carbs, your body will grab onto proteins from your diet or your skeletal muscles and organs to convert the protein's amino acids into glucose, which is gluconeogenesis. So what this does is if you're not eating a lot of carbs, you're not getting a lot of energy from your carbs, what your body will actually do is break down the muscle within the body to then turn those amino acids from the muscles and turn that into energy. And so this is where people undereat or they go on such a low caloric diet. And the reason why is because obviously we have this mindset of less calories or less food that you eat, the more weight you'll lose, which is right in some retrospect, but I'll dive into that deeper in a second. But the goal is to actually eat enough carbs to create this state within the body for it to perform well in the gym, and for it to also hold on to muscle and build more muscle and recover as well. Where if we're under eating carbs, the body will actually break down its own muscle to then turn it into energy source, and then it will use that energy and hold it onto fat for future reference. Because you're under eating in carbs, it wants to turn that into fat, and so that fat energy store is there, so that next time you need energy, it's already within the body, because you're not providing it with energy from outside the body. So carbs are extremely important for your performance. It's also important for retaining muscle mass and also losing fat in a lot of sense as well. So this is why all three macronutrients are extremely important within a balanced diet. You want to make sure you get all three. Don't stint out on either one, because what would happen is if you're under eating carbs, the body will break down muscle. You're not going to hold on to muscle, and you're going to become fat skinny, where you will drop in weight, but it's going to hold on to fat for energy source. Also, same thing as fat, you want to make sure you eat enough fat, so generally about 30% of your calories from fat. And that's going to be important for your hormones, for your energy as well, and also helps with fat loss. And protein, extremely important for the recovery of muscles as well. And it's also got a higher thermic effect within the body, which means it takes more energy slightly for it to digest. So the other thing as well with carbs is carbs are generally the easiest source to get fiber from as well. So you want probably about 10 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories from your diet as well. So make sure you're eating whole food carbs, so stuff like your fruit, your veg, more like your potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuff like that have higher fiber within it as well. So calories. So now we've already dived into your macronutrients. Remember, a nice balanced diet is important, and I'll show you how to create that balanced diet in a second. But remember, calories matter. So regardless of what your result is or your goal is, you're going to want to track your calories to then make sure you're getting that desired result. So if you want to maintain your weight, you want to be eating the same amount of energy, the same amount of food as you are putting out, because then you're going to maintain that weight. If you want to drop in weight, you do want to eat less calories, but making sure we're not under eating, because that could cause the other effect, which I'll dive into in a sec. And if you want to gain weight, you want to be eating more calories than you're putting out as well. You want to be eating more energy than the energy you're putting out, and that way you're going to go up in weight gain. So it definitely is determined on your energy intake, but in the next slide I'm going to explain a little bit deeper the importance of firstly making sure that you're focusing your hormones and focusing on getting a balanced baseline for the body, because otherwise you can go into a state of undereating or overeating regardless of what your result is, and that could cause more problems down the line as well. So the ways of taking calories is naturally drinking and eating food, or drinking energy drinks, or drinking certain drinks that does have energy within it. My first tip is I would try and not drink any calories at all. So try and stay away from drinks that do have calories within it. There's no need. It doesn't really provide you with any minerals or vitamins or any nutrients at all. No fiber or anything like that. So you're best off just drinking water, pretty much. Don't drink anything else. You can have like black coffees and what have you. And then just focusing on eating the right foods to provide you with energy. So the ways to expend calories, expend energy, is stuff like your exercise and movement, really. And also improving on your hormones and your metabolism, and which I'll dive into the next one. So on this slide here, this is why hormones matter as well. So like I said, calories matter, but if you want to look at your hormones first, definitely. The reason why is because if your hormones are out, your metabolism slows down, so it could conserve energy. So let's say if you are eating less than you're putting out, but your metabolism is slow, what's going to do is going to create gluconeogenesis. It's going to hold on to that energy anyway. You're going to be insulin resistant, and the body's going to create sugar from breaking down muscle tissue, and then you're going to hold on to that weight anyway. And I would say probably the majority of my clients, I would say even like a good 90% of the people that I do food plans for, undereat. They don't overeat, they generally undereat. And it's because when they're undereating, their body goes into survival mode, the metabolism's slow, the body's not using energy at all, it's not actually producing anything, they're performing bad in the gym because they don't have enough energy to perform within the gym, and that causes more issues than anything. So the goal is to get you to eat and train like an athlete, and get your body to be prime and balanced and strong, and then that way, the metabolism and hormones are going to be balanced, it's going to be healthy, your body's then going to have a higher metabolism, it's going to retain muscle mass, it's going to lose fat. And it's because it's going to be insulin sensitive. It's going to, when you eat any sort of sugar, so glucose especially, what it's going to do is, and fructose, is going to use that energy and distribute it into muscle mass correctly, losing fat while you're exercising as well, and that's what we want to focus on. If we're under eating as well, like I said before, you move into gluconeogenesis, or break down muscle and organ tissue before fat to use that as energy source. So we don't want that. It affects your thyroid as well. It affects your cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So your cortisol increases if you're undereat. And the reason why is because the body's not provided with any energy from outside the body. So the body's going to be stressed because it's not provided with any energy. It has to break itself down to have energy. So you need to provide your body with enough energy so it isn't stressed and so it's working effectively. Same thing for your sex hormones. They decrease as well. They get affected as well. Insulin resistance as well. It doesn't know what to do with all the carbs and the sugar that you're providing it with. Same thing as stuff like your mood swings as well. So if you're looking into a condition focus as well, so if you're looking at the brain, if you're not providing the body with any energy or the right amount of calories, then what's going to happen is your focus, your condition is going to drop as well. You're not going to be able to focus, or your memory will drop as well. You could also have issues with hunger as well. I find this a lot with people that undereat. They actually decrease in hunger, and so they're not hungry at all, and that's very common. When you start increasing their food, they tend to feel nostalgic, and they start to feel sick from eating food, and it's because it's not used to actually being provided with food. Sleep is also affected if you're under eating, and the reason why is because the body has to break itself down. It releases adrenaline, and the cortisol, your stress hormone, increases, and this all happens to create gluconeogenesis, so that while you're sleeping, the body's breaking itself down because it's not provided with any energy. So sleep gets affected. Other stuff like your loss of hair because your sex hormone drop, you become hypothyroidism, sickness as well. Performance in the gym decreases, which is what we don't want. Remember, you want to eat enough calories and provide your body with enough energy so you perform better in the gym, which will then in turn help you lose more weight because you're performing better in the gym. So look at it from that point of view. Eat correctly and eat the right amount of food so you perform more in the gym, and you're going to lose more weight that way. And then you're providing the body with enough food for it to recover, for it to gain muscle mass, or for it to retain muscle mass while dropping fat at the same time. Same thing as like stalled weight loss and body fat retention. If you're not providing the body with enough energy and your hormones aren't balanced, then it's going to retain body fat, and it's also going to stall in weight loss. So guys, remember, make sure you're eating enough calories. So we're going to do this anyway in a sec. Make sure you eat enough calories first. Make sure you get your hormones balanced before we even look at, dropping your calories too much. Because if you're eating 800 to 1200 calories, which is pretty common for most people, then you're doing something wrong. And most of the time, you'll be eating 800 to 1200 calories, and you're actually stalling body weight. You're not losing body weight. And it shouldn't be that way. You should be eating more calories, and you should be dropping weight. Okay, so, like I said at the very start of this, extremely important to track your calories. This is extremely important and necessary for success. It takes about 5 minutes a day. It literally allows you to get results, the results that you want. Without tracking your calories, you will not achieve your results. Same thing like anything else in life. If you don't know where you are and where you're going and what you're doing to achieve that, we don't have a guideline, we don't have a map, and we're not going to succeed. We're not going to get to that point. So guys, you have to track your calories. I'll do a MyFitnessPal tutorial straight after this, and then you guys could check that out as well on how to track your calories. But if you want to succeed, this is the only way to do it. So finding your calories. So this is a basic guideline for finding your total calorie requirement. What we're going to do though is we're just simply going to use the very first calculation, which is 26 calories per kilogram per day. And the reason why we're keeping it so low is because, like I mentioned before, most people undereat. I'm actually at the 41 mark. So you can tell, because I train, I've been doing this for a long time as well, I eat a lot more calories than 26 times my body weight. I eat about 41 to 50. And this is actually for those involved in moderate heavy training, about 15 to 20 hours a week. I do a lot less work on a weekly basis, actually. I train a lot less. But because I've been doing this for a long time, my hormones are pretty good, my metabolism is pretty good, my gut health is good as well. And so I could eat a lot more calories. And that's the goal. You want to get to a point where you're really high. So you're high in calories per day, because then your body's working, it's performing effectively. And it's really strong, healthy hormones, really balanced. You're going to perform better in the gym. You're going to have better condition as well. You're going to be more focused, better memory retention as well. And you want more energy throughout the day. You sleep better. It's extremely important, guys, to be able to eat a higher caloric intake than having 800 to 1200 calories a day. So we're going to start off with just purely 26 kilograms per day. And that's going to find out your total calories. Simple as that. So 26 times your body weight in kilograms. And that's going to give you calories per day. Simple, easy maths. This is going to do your macronutrients. So firstly, with these calories that we're doing right now, this is just a guideline for where you're at. We're going to do this for about a month, and you're purely just going to stick to it for a month to find out where it goes. So if 26 times your body weight, let's say you're eating 2,000 calories in a day. Let's say after a month you haven't shifted any weight at all. If you haven't gone up or you haven't gone down, then that's probably your maintenance in calories. That's probably where you are in maintaining your calories, maintaining your weight. If you're going up in weight on that, and you also drop weight, then you want to drop it by about 15% later down the road after the month as well, because you want to shift the calories down the line. But for the first month, use this as a guideline to find out whether this is your maintenance weight, maintenance calories, your weight loss calories, or your surplus calories, so you're gaining weight calories. But we need to know where you're at. So this is just finding out how many calories it takes for you to lose weight, gain weight, or maintain your weight. What we want to do next is we want to figure out your macronutrients. So we do your protein first, then we figure out your fat, and then we figure out your carbs. So, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. So, I'm eating about 3,000 calories a day. For this mass anyway, I'm actually about 3,500. But for this, I'm going to say 3,000. To figure out your protein, you're just going to do 2 times your ideal body weight in kilograms. So I weigh 75 kilograms. I want to stay around this weight, and so I'm having 150 grams of protein. So firstly, your ideal body weight is your goal, but you want to have a realistic goal. If you're weighing 150 kilos and you say your ideal body weight is 70 kilos, that's not realistic. If you weigh 150 kilograms, I would say probably go around 120 kilograms and times that by 2. And that will provide you with how many grams of protein you want within a day. Right here. So this is the grams of the macronutrient protein itself. Give me an idea, about 100 grams of raw meat, so 100 grams of chicken breast is about 25 grams to 30 grams of protein itself. So this is actually the gram macronutrient. So you want 150 grams of protein on a daily basis. Then I'm going to figure out how many calories that is for my later formulations. So figure out how many grams of protein you're going to have. And then each gram of protein is 4 units of energy, 4 calories. So for me to find out how many calories of the macronutrient protein I'm eating within a day, I'm purely going to do 150 grams of protein times 4, which equals 600 calories in a day. So I'm going to eat 600 calories worth of protein, which is 150 grams of protein. Remember guys, throughout this, I want you guys to have a pen and paper right now doing this formulation. What you should have done is you should have done the formula for your calories already, 26 times your body weight in kilograms. Now you should be doing the grams, your protein in grams. You should be doing this while I'm actually speaking. So this way you could also pause, go back and try and understand it. If you have any questions anyway, send through and I'll be able to answer them as well. So now we figured out your grams in protein, your calories in protein. We're going to do your fat. Fat is purely just 30% of your calories. So if I'm doing 3,000 calories, I'm just going to times that by 0.3. That equals 900 calories per day. So that's 900 calories of fat. Now this is why I think fat is also looked down upon, and this is why people think fat makes you fat. The reason why is because carbs and protein, each gram of carb and each gram of protein equals 4 calories. For each gram of fat, it equals 9 calories. And so I'm having 900 calories a day in fat. I want to then divide 900 by 9, and that's going to give me my grams of fat. So I'm having 100 grams of fat. So like I did here with my protein, 150 grams times 4, I'm going to do 900 divided by 9, because it's 9 units of energy, 9 calories per gram of fat, and that figures out my grammage, how many grams of fat I'm eating on a daily basis, which is 100. Now my carbs are literally just my leftover calories. As we could tell here, because I did my formula above, I have 600 calories of protein and 900 calories in fat, which means that's 1,500 calories a day from these 2 macronutrients. My leftover calories are going to be in carbs. So I have 1,500 calories left over for carbs. Carbs are the same as protein in the sense that it's 4 calories per gram of carb. So I'm going to do my 1,500 divided by 4 equals 375 grams of carbohydrates. So I'll just repeat that again. Leftover calories for my carbs. I have 1,500 calories left over because I did 600 plus 900, that's 1,500. 3,000 minus 1,500 equals 1,500. And then I'm going to divide that 1,500 by 4 because each gram of carb equals 4 calories. Divides the calories by 4 to figure out 375 grams of carbs on a daily basis. Easy as that, guys. Do that exact formula, and that's going to give you how many calories you're going to eat on a daily basis, and then how many macronutrients, or how your macronutrients are going to be broken down. How much protein, how many fats, and how many carbs you're going to eat on a daily basis. So adjusting your calories. Like I said, this is your initial calories. This right here is your initial calories to figure out your starting point. Every person is different. We all have different hormonal production, metabolism, energy expenditure, gut health, etc. There's so many factors as to what your caloric intake is, what your metabolic state is. Your metabolism adapts. It's called metabolic adaptation. So you're not stuck with a low metabolism, you're not stuck with a high metabolism. Your metabolism shifts depending on your hormonal production, your metabolism, energy expenditure, gut health, etc. There's so many factors to it. So you want to do this formula here, and that's going to give you a baseline. Do this for a month to see whether you're eating in a deficit, maintenance, or a surplus. So if you're losing weight, you're eating less calories than you're expending. If you're maintaining your weight, you're eating the exact amount of calories as you're expending. If you're gaining weight, you're eating more calories than you're expending. So if your goal is to lose weight, but you're not losing weight at all, your goal is to drop, what you should do is drop those calories by 15%. So do this formula, what you've already done before, take 15% of that away. So times that by 0.15. And then redo your macronutrients. Do this whole entire formula all over again with your new calories, because this last is going to change. This is going to stay the same because it's off your body weight, but this is going to shift because that's 30% of your total calories, and that's your leftover. And because your calories are lower, these two are going to shift. From that as well, if you want to maintain weight, just stick to it. If your goal is to gain weight but you're not gaining, do the exact same, but add 15% of your weight on top of it, calories on top of it, and redo your macronutrients. So let me repeat that. Do this formula, figure out your calories, figure out your macronutrients, stick to these two for 4 weeks. Do not shift, stick to it. Push through it, stick to it. By the end of those 4 weeks, figure out whether you gained weight, lost weight, or stayed the same. If you want to lose weight, take away 15% of calories and redo your macronutrients. If you want to gain weight, increase your calories by 15% and redo your macronutrients. And then go from there. This is all assuming that your hormones are in check as well. If you're fatigued, if you're lacking in sleep, you're losing appetite, you're performing less in the gym, even though you're eating more calories, then I would probably go see someone and get someone to check it out personally. But if you stick to this anyway, you should see some results. But this is just a guideline that I'm trying to deliver to the masses, to a lot of people. And like I said, everyone's so different. So try and stick to it for a month and then make these shifts and then stick and stay disciplined and keep tracking your calories and macronutrients. Alright guys, so we figured all that out. The next step is for me to show you guys how to track your calories and macronutrients. So the next video I'm going to make is a video on MyFitnessPal, which is a calorie and macronutrient tracking app that you could use on all phones. You could also use it on your computer as well. So in the next video I'll do that, so I recommend go checking that out. If you have any questions, send them through. More than happy to answer them. And best of luck with your nutrition goals. Much love. See you guys.